Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
Alright, people, not the news that I want to be breaking to you. So, Alex Krasok did an interview with ID Boxing. He has now declared that the Tyson Fury Oleksandr Usyk fight for Undisputed doesn't look likely to happen next. He said they are willing to be flexible and move from the 50-50 split they want, but claims Fury is asking for too much money. Now, Eddie Hearn was interviewed by IFL TV today as well, and obviously this fight was being talked about in terms of Fury Usyk, and Eddie Hearn, not too pleased. Quote him, he said, Joshua fought Usyk back to back, no effing problem. Fury says, it's not about the money, I'll fight him for free, F off. You want money, you want too much money, you've all been played for all these years. So it looks like we're in a real bad place with this. Alex Krasok also said the worst thing about all this, he's a big star only because of the fans. You have to pay off to your fans. If you don't, you're going to sink into oblivion. It's disrespectful to treat boxing fans like that. And I echo that statement. You know, I'm already seeing it now with the Fury fanboys, who I'm sure are doing mental gymnastics trying to figure out how they can give him a pass on this. But they will, because those are the types of individuals they are. They really are some of the worst. They're not boxing fans, if you think about it, because I'm already seeing people actually happy that this fight's not happening and saying, ah ha ha, Usyk has to fight his man, ah ha ha, yeah, yeah. It's like, how is that funny? You're claiming your guy is the best heavyweight in this era and of all time, but yet there's another person in that division who's also claiming to be the best in this era, claiming to be number one in the division. How do you resolve that? Well, logic would dictate that you'd fight him. You know, especially if you've something to gain. Oh yeah, you can gain undisputed, the first undisputed heavyweight champion in over 20 plus years. Lennox Lewis being the last guy to do that. Why don't you fight him then? He's a middleweight. He's a small little middleweight who is really insignificant in terms of, you know, boxing ability, according to Fury and his fans. So they're offering you 60-40 to the winner. I mean, you got to take that with open arms. I mean, you got to jump on that, because if he's so bad, well, easy win, isn't it? I mean, John Fury was saying that, what was it, double or nothing to Jake Paul. So you're willing to make those sort of offers. You're willing to do it, you know, if it's such an easy fight. So why not do it with this? It's absolutely disgraceful. And as Klima said there, using the word the fans, I've seen a lot of people online who have said, look, I'm a fan of Tyson Fury, but this isn't working. You know, and they're blaming him for this. And from the outside looking in, it looks like it's all his fault. It does. And again, I really don't give a you-know-what if the Fury fanboys, the die-hard fanboys don't like me. You know, you're a hater. That's all they can ever say when it comes to you actually pointing out the facts, is that you're a hater, you're a hater, you're a hater. Because they can't come with anything else. They can't counteract anything you're saying. They can't have a counter-argument to it, because the counter-arguments are so flawed. They've got so many holes in them, it's like Swiss cheese, that all they can do is just try and bash you. Just say, this, that. Yeah, that's all you can really do. At the end of the day, like, Fury, as Eddie Hearn said, claims to be the man of the people. You know, he gives tickets away for free. He donates his purses to charity. He want to fight Anthony Joshua on free to air. Okay, well then, why did you fight Derek Chisora for a third time, a guy who looked awful in his last few fights, on pay-per-view for a record UK pay-per-view price? And you say it to someone, they're like, well, sure, doesn't he not deserve a payday? But I thought he wasn't in it for the money. And then they say something like, well, does he not deserve an easy fight? Well, plenty of champions with titles, the most recent example being Danny Garcia, have had titles, like him when he was WBC champion at welterweight. And what have they done? They've had 10-round non-title fights in between. Rod Selke, Samuel Vargas, to name a few for Danny Garcia. That's what they did. And they obviously weren't paid mega money, the money they'd get for fighting the Errol Spence or a Keith Thurman, obviously. But they were happy enough just to get the run out. So if Fury really wanted the run out, why didn't he just do that? Oh no. No, then you're a hater. Then you're just a hater. This fight, Eddie Hearn said it's not the biggest fight in the heavyweight division. Probably from a commercial standpoint, I tend to probably agree with him. I would say maybe Joshua versus Fury or maybe Joshua versus Wilder would be bigger commercially, but this fight has more to it than commercial in terms of the way the hardcore would perceive it. As I said, has been undisputed champion since '99, since Lennox Lewis. There is a debate who is the best in the division. Is it Fury? Is it Usyk? Well, here's the chance. Solve it. Fight. And Team Usyk, who I will point out throughout the court, and I'll go and reel off the countries Usyk's fought in, he has not had a track history of being difficult to work with or difficult to negotiate with. Not got that track history. Glowacki, Poland. Glowacki's a Polish fighter, fought him in his backyard. Marco Huck, German fighter, fought him in his backyard. Michael Hunter, American fighter, fought him in his backyard as a voluntary. Then unified against Myris Briedis in Latvia. And Myris Briedis has had some very shaky refereeing go his way in Latvia. Still fought him in Latvia. Murat Gassiev, final of the World Boxing Super Series, which was meant to be originally in Saudi Arabia, got moved to Russia. Alright, Murat Gassiev is a Russian fighter. What did Oleksandr Usyk do? I'll just go to Russia. Wanted to have a fight against Tony Bellew, fights him in the UK. Fair enough. Goes then, fights Derek Chisora in his backyard in the UK. Mandatory for the WBO World Heavyweight title, which is currently held at the time by Anthony Joshua. Talk of Joshua Fury taking place. Would that take precedent? Usyk happy to say, okay then, I'll fight Joe Joyce then for the interim title. Let's get that fight over the line. Breaks down between Fury and Usyk. The arbitration hearing comes. Fury has to fight Wilder. There's nothing he can do. Fair enough. Has to fight Anthony Joshua. Fights him in the UK. Where's the history of him being difficult? Where's the history of Oleksandr Usyk turning around and saying, okay, you want me to fight Derek Chisora? I'll fight him if you put this diamond title on the line. Okay, we will. Actually, no. That still doesn't work for me. I'm going to fight Tom Schwartz instead. Yeah, when did Usyk? Oh, he did. That was Tyson Fury, sorry. Yeah, he did that, didn't he? So yeah, Oleksandr Usyk hasn't had a history of being difficult to work with. And I know now Fury fanboys watching this are just going to be like, shut up, G, stop reeling off. Well, I'm just reeling them off. And I'll keep doing it because I'm peeved off that this fight, it's seemingly dead in the water. Apparently Warren has a show on April 29th, which is going to be headlined by, I think, Jason Cunningham as well. So we know Warren's not going to be part. He has his own show on April 29th. So pretty much April 29th is a write-off by the sound of things for Fury versus Usyk. At the end of the day, the year is still pretty young. We're only in March. There is time to get this fight over the line. But the fact that we've gone through months of negotiations and we're seeing further now than ever to get this fight made. And as well as that, you got to remember, whilst this fight's being negotiated, being talked about, mandatories are kind of being put on the back burner. That's not going to be the case. Oleksandr Usyk's first mandatory is against Daniel Dubois. That's going to get called sooner or later. Then he's going to have another one against Joe Joyce. Then he's going to have another one against Hrgovic. Right? So Oleksandr Usyk is going to be tied in with these mandatories. There's going to come a stage where he'll probably have to bin one of the titles. And at the end of the day, we waited too long for Undisputed. How anyone can look at this and defend it is beyond me. How anyone who's objective and just not a raging fanboy could look at this and defend it is just beyond me. It really is. I mean, this is number one and number two in the division. And this is at a time where you can say there's no issue. Okay, he's fighting with PBC Al Heyman, he's fighting with Bob Arum, they don't like working together, it's not going to work. Or he's with DAZN, he's with PBC. It's just going to be difficult to get this fight over the line. There's none of that. Absolutely none of that. There's not a case of, Fury's got a big mandatory coming up against whoever and then Usyk has to defend that. Oh, how are we going to get around these mandatories? Is that mandatory going to be difficult? Is he going to dig his heels in? There's none of that. There's no reason why this fight shouldn't be happening. And honestly, I just can't. Honest to God, if we get an announcement tomorrow, or well, not tomorrow, but if we get an announcement the next few weeks that we're going to have maybe Fury and Ngannou, and somehow he's been ranked by the WBC, which wouldn't shock me in the slightest. The WBC have no credibility at all. They haven't had credibility for years. That wouldn't shock me, but that would be an absolute... I don't know how anyone could defend that. I really don't know how anyone can defend that. So it looks like, certainly for the time being anyway, that this fight ain't going to happen. And if there is a situation where Usyk has to vacate, or maybe Usyk walks away, because at the end of the day, listening to him post Joshua, even in the interview, obviously he had a lot on his mind in that interview, what was going on in the ring, it sounded to me as though he's got one foot out the door, that he's really only interested in fighting Tyson Fury, and that's it. So is he going to stick around? Is he going to maybe turn around and say, you know what, if I can't get this fight, what's the point of me staying around? Like, all I want is to be undisputed. All I want is to fight Fury. And then where we are, we're back to square one. We're back to, 2015, 2016, where these belts all get stagnated, and then it's just a waiting game. Who's going to pick this one up? Who's going to pick that one up? Oh, he's lost. Oh, is he going to... We're back to square one, and it's another rinse and repeat. We reset, and the heavyweight division, we've got to wait again. Honestly, this is just not the news I wanted to hear. What can I say? What more can I say? Looks like we ain't getting undisputed anytime soon at heavyweight. You know? What do you want me to say? Let me know your thoughts. Are you like me, peeved off about this? I'm doing pretty good not to swear in this video, obviously. But are you like me, peeved off about the whole situation? And yeah, what do you say? What do you say? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, of course, people, I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope you found something useful from it. Leave a like if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. I'd be interested to hear all of your thoughts. Thanks, as always, to the guys at the Hip Company. Great bunch of lads for sponsoring this video. And for now, I will talk to you. Peace.